The Venerable has explained what humility is already, no? And when we use the word dignity, what do we mean? Dignity. I do not know the dictionary meaning of dignity, only the usage of it. What kind of idea do you have in your mind when you talk about dignity? It is a very good question, actually. Like sometimes when you bow down, some people bow down to another person, like they bow down to your teacher, or you bow down to another, your elder. And then people ask you, why you do that? And like there is no dignity, they're bowing down, isn't it? I think some people have that kind of idea, that kind of concept. We should not lower our human dignity. And I think many people say, why should we bow down to a human being? We are all humans. So, what is your concept? First, we would like to know your concept of dignity first. When we talk about human dignity, we talk about certain values, certain human values, by which that person, that individual upholds. He upholds certain values. He holds certain principles in life. And he does not give up that principle so easily. He is dignified like that. What is the thing that makes human being most dignified? So the real value, the real dignity of human beings lies in the mind. The body has no value. Do you know how much your body is valued? When you shave your hair, how much price do you think your hair can fetch? People don't want to buy your hair. Let us take, what about our skin? Will anybody pay for the price of skin, human skin? But people buy crocodile skin, snake skin. Why? And what about our hair? But people pay for fur coats, the fur of other animals, the hair of other animals, they buy that. Very costly. But our hair not worth. What else? You go on and look inside. People pay so much money for pig's liver. And now they are talking about pig's pancreas. So what about the human liver and human pancreas? If you go on and see how much value will the human body fetch, and you can understand that this body, human beings, actually, the real value of human beings are not in the body, but in the mind. And then we talk about the qualities of the mind. What are the qualities of the mind which clearly distinguishes from all other beings, all other animals? Yes. I told you that there are, if you remember, I told you that there are some animals that can see better than human beings. Some animals can hear better than any one of us. Some can smell much better than we do. Some can run very much faster than we do. Then, what are we good in? What is it that distinguishes you from the cat that you carry? Yes, now. Yes? Yes. Is it the ability to distinguish between right and wrong? Yes. How are you able to distinguish between right and wrong? How are you able to distinguish between right and wrong? Thinking, right? That's right. And that is why we are all called manusa. Man, woman. The word man, in a general term, in English, in the Bahasa Malaysia we say manusia. Manusia. In Pali it is manusia. In German we use the word man. All have a common root. It comes from the root word manas, mind. That means that human beings have the unique potentiality of mental development, to think, to develop the mind, to use the mind. And this is what distinguishes human beings from all other beings. And the dignity, human dignity, lies within this potentiality, the development of the mind. The development on and purification of the mind. Therein lies human dignity. Any further question? Very good question. Looks like you all have been thinking very well, very dignified. And now the question is about radiation of loving kindness. When you radiate your loving kindness, he asks, this radiation of loving kindness, radiation of metta, is this a force, an energy? This is a force, this is an energy. But he is asking, what about you yourself? And now when you want another person to change, like somebody who is hostile to you, somebody who is unfriendly to you, you want him to change, and you have metta, you have loving kindness towards him. And just by radiating, just by thinking, or something more than that. He asked, what about, in other words, your own actions like this? No? Yes. Because when you start thinking, when you start radiating your loving kindness towards that person, what happens is, your mind, you start changing your perspective, your frame of mind to change, right? You wish that person. Metta is the simple wish, the wish that others be well, be happy, be free from anger and enmity, like that. So when you have this wish, again and again in your mind, and when you approach that person, the moment you confront the person, you wish to see him happy. And how naturally that thought which you have kept in your mind, that thought which you have nurtured in your mind again and again, that will condition your speech. And your speech will change from the harsh tone. You will have more pleasant tone. And your actions also, which from the gross action, you will refine your action like this. And that all plays an important part in the maximizing the result. That's how the ultimate result comes about. When you think, what you think, your thought condition your speech, condition your bodily action. Then, in other words, your whole personality will change. And you change your looks also. That is one of the advantages which the Venerable points out. One of the advantages of loving kindness is a radiant look, beautiful look, handsome look. One of the 11 advantages. So, the natural beauty. Natural beauty lies where? In all the cosmetics that you put on. That's where people try to look beautiful. They put on all the cosmetics. I remember one story. I'll tell you one story. Let me stand up because I've been sitting for many hours. I remember one occasion. I have told these stories many times before. How Ananda, the most faithful disciple of the Buddha, one day he saw some women passing by the monastery. And those women were very well dressed with very colorful saris. I know some of you may say not nice, but to them it's very nice. Very colorful. And their hair, long hair, and I do not know how they twist and turn it. But Ananda told the Buddha, Venerable Sir, there are some beautiful women passing by. Then the Buddha turned and saw and see. Buddha asked, where? Ananda said, there. But Ananda looked again. Their face changed. They are no longer beautiful as, he saw just a moment ago. Because while they were walking, they were teasing one another. And in the just few moments of teasing, they got angry with one another. When they got angry, all the makeup, all the dress cannot give them the beauty. They look like monsters. They look like real, devil. Do you believe? Now those of you who have been carrying big handbag, I do not know. The men also now have special case with mirror, to look in. The next time you get angry with one another, just look in the mirror and see. And then how much money you have wasted on yourself. all the perfume, all the pancake, all the foundation on your face, and all those things that you try to paint to look good, including your dressing. You try to look so good, and to impress another person. But suddenly you get angry, everything changes. People no longer impressed you. You lose that. I know, I have heard some people used to say, dignity, they used to refer to if you are not properly dressed, when you go to office, you don't have necktie, you don't have, coat, and you have no dignity, you're not dignified like that. No personality, they say. I tell you a little experience that I had. That before I became a monk, I spent 4 years living a lay life. About 2 years I spent traveling in various parts of the world, and that's how I became more convinced about this way of life. But after that, not my parents, my sisters were very concerned about my well-being. So, through their arrangements, I had to go and work. It was not sufficient to just stay in the temple and do voluntary service. So they arranged, and I had to go and work. Eventually, they put me in the bank. I was invited to work in the bank. Then that's the beauty that you do, when you work in the temple. When you work in the temple, and people know that you take precepts, and that you take the precepts of non-killing, non-stealing especially. So they have trust. They have trust in you. And I observe it later on. Many banks, those who want employees, they come and ask us, hey, do you have any temple boys, who wants to work in the bank? Yes. Those in Malacca, they know. Quite a few of our temple boys eventually got found employment in the bank. When I went to the bank, I still decided to remain in my white uniform. I prefer my white uniform like this, And, but usually in the bank they wear tie, And at first I walked in with my slippers and my white shirt, a sport shirt, just left it like that. I walked in like that, and the manager looked at me. He looked from up to down, and as if he did not. Anyway, I went on doing my work, and I improved a little bit because I thought slippers maybe not so acceptable, so I put on sandals. Little bit extra, strap, a few extra straps there. And but I still kept on my white uniform. And I refused to use that tie. I refused to use those things. And I did my work there until customers get to know me. And every time some clients come, they ask for, very easily they know, I want to see that one in the white one. And because they see me everywhere in white, so very easy for them to recognize in white. Until the manager realized that, and we don't have to ask him to change anymore. He can come as it is. And he was quite happy that way. And so that is how I see that not in dress, it is not in the dresses. And I tell you, I was wearing trousers, and my trousers were torn some parts, and I saw it. And have patches too. So I do not believe in the dignity just being looked dignified with, dress. If you have your need enough, you go neat, and if you can culture yourself in terms of your speech and your bodily actions, and you are hardworking, you have virtues of honesty, you know how to respect your elders, you show reverence, then I think these are the real values that makes you dignified person. Not by your looks, not by the extra paraphernalia that you wear. So the real beauty lies inside you. Right? When you have a good heart, you are kind, you are compassionate, then you have the radiance in you, the charm in you. No need to get extra charm. People want all kinds of charms and amulets from the monks. They want the tangkol, for protection. And, oh yes, I have heard of many cases in certain parts of the world. This thing is very common. They get some tangkol, some amulets to protect themselves. But if you have heard and registered in your mind those advantages, the benefits, the results in the practice of metta or loving kindness, that metta is itself a weapon, a very powerful one. That's what the Buddha used. You sing the song, you sing the hymns of the Jaya Mangala Gatha, and there is one good story whereby the Buddha's, the cousin Devadatta, who was jealous of the Buddha, who tried to kill the Buddha by intoxicating an elephant, and got the elephant to go charging before the Buddha. What did the Buddha do? Ananda, who was attending to the Buddha, tried to get a stick to, protect the Buddha. The Buddha says, "Sit down, Ananda." What did the Buddha do? The Buddha gave metta, just radiated his loving kindness to that elephant. That elephant, the wild, intoxicated elephant. And the Buddha said, just gave his metta, and the elephant, as the elephant approached the Buddha, the elephant stopped, bowed down, kowtow before the Buddha. That is the power of metta. And the Venerable Vajrayana pointed out how yogis, those who meditate in the forests, in the jungles, they meet with various kinds of wild animals, wild creatures, and they are free, they are not disturbed by them. This is the power of metta. One night, last year, I spent 3 months in northern part of Thailand. And I spent some time in a cave. The cave was about 25 or 30 feet above the ground. It was not a real cave really, it's just like a hollow, a small cave above the ground. I have to use a ladder, and I have to climb about 90 degrees up every time I want to come up and down. My sleeping place is just a raised platform and I don't have much space to walk. What happened one night when I was sleeping, I was trying very much to practice to keep myself awake throughout the night. And during those retreats, I've been trying to work myself out to sleep less. After eating less, I try to sleep less. And usually we sleep about 5 hours. But I try to sleep 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, like that. Until the time came that I determined to go without sleep. What happened was, that night I remember, when I felt very tired after sitting, and Mara came, the inner defilements came to tempt and say that, just a little while only, just lie down only. Take just a few minutes, lie down, and then you can sit back, your mind. So I lie down just for just a little while. I wanted to lie down just for a little while. And what happened was, I closed my eyes and I do not know what happened. But just then, not long after that, I felt something crawling up in my robes. And it was right up here. I used my robes as blanket, And when it came up here, I touched and I saw what? Centipede, that big, that fat centipede. Immediately, I got up. And after that, I had the all-night vigil. I did not sleep. But what happened was, you see, I took my net. I was in the sleep, what you call mosquito net, under an umbrella. So the centipede climbed up the net. And I was a little bit afraid. So I took the net and tie the net up, and so trapped the centipede up there. After that, I saw the centipede going up and down, and looking for even smallest hole to get out of it. So I was very alert, and I sat down very alert, listening to the movements of the centipede. And thanks to the centipede, I succeeded in staying up all night. Then the next morning, as soon as the sun came up, I want to try to find the centipede. I cannot find where it is. And so there was nobody around me. So I start to talk to the centipede, please, I like to take you out, and I will not harm you. Let no harm come to you, no harm come to me. And then I say, please show me where you are. And believe it or not, just after a few moments, I find it wriggling right near where my hand where, I was holding the mosquito net. So I opened that, I took a stick and got the centipede onto the stick, and I threw it far away. And then, after that was not the end of it. In the morning I got down, and I start to do my walking meditation. I start to pay up and down. After a few paces, I saw that fellow following me, just as if he is following up and down also, Not up to the whole length, but he was moving this way, that way, to and fro, I saw. And I looked, by then we became quite familiar already, and we had close acquaintance, so I talked to that. I say, please, go your way, and please allow me to practice here. Don't tease me, don't disturb me, you can go your way. And after a few moments, it just disappeared, just went and disappeared into the bush. That's it. That was the last time I saw that centipede. After that, I asked other monks. They said they saw it near their kuti, near their hut, near another cave. You see? And from that time onwards, I had confidence. All the time I have been chanting every day, this what you call Kanda Parita. If you want to protect yourself from snakes, especially snakes, and various other creatures, including rats and maybe cockroaches too, we have a formula. And you keep on reciting that Parita. And actually, not only the reciter, you should think about them, what you are reciting. And I do not know how this formula came about, but when I see this formula, of how it starts, and I find that it mentions the different family of snakes, all the different families of snakes. And not exactly equivalent to the kind of Latin names, zoological classification of snakes, but a number of classes came close to that name, like that. And we think of these various creatures, and we tell in our mind that we give metta to them, metta, loving kindness to them. We think of these various creatures, and we tell in our mind that we give metta to them, metta, loving kindness to them. And then we say, may no harm come to you and no harm come to me. Okay? And from that time onwards, if you do these things, it helps you. And when you want to walk into deep forest, deep jungle, there can be various creatures in there. Remember that you are not, many people think when they go into the forest, they think they are the biggest, everything must make way for them. Big shot, they think. No, we must like, when we go into the forest, we are actually stepping on the territory of so many creatures. And that's why sometimes when you sleep up there in the room, before you came, that room was the territory of certain cockroaches. And now that you occupy the place, you have occupied the territory. They also have territorial rights. So they go about moving on, and suddenly they find that, there are some soft spots here, and they crawl. They don't mean to disturb you. Like we do, sometimes we walk on the ground, and we come across some creatures, some insects, and we step on them. But some human beings purposely step on them. Like that. So, remember, if we want to live in peace and harmony with them, the real metta, like we should have in our mind, our frame of mind, we should calm down our mind, and we want to go into the path, we tell in our mind, If there's nobody around, you can talk also, never mind. You can tell and say that whatever creatures, whatever beings there are here, please allow me to pass. Allow me to practice here. Please allow me to use a little place here so that I can practice. And then you give metta to all of them. Because if somebody comes by your house and they go into your garden, hair lawn, without your permission, you get angry, isn't it? So when we go to the forest, we are encroaching into the territory of many animals. They share one territory. Like when we were in the bush in Australia. For 3 months we were staying there this year. When you go in, as soon as I walk into the forest, the black cockatoos make noise. Everybody know, like because you come to the territory. And then the kookaburra, they laugh. Have you heard the laughter of the kookaburra? You will laugh yourself, And they make a lot of sound, like to announce and to tell. They are frightened, that these people have come. And especially during certain season when they have laid their eggs and nests. So when we come near, like we make them angry. So if we can give metta, we radiate our loving kindness to them. And in our mind we tell them, we've not come to hurt you, no this thing. And after a little while they get used to us and they allow us to pass quietly like that. No? I have seen black snakes, red-bellied black snakes coming by, passing by and so on. No typhons yet. And one story in Sri Lanka, many years ago when I was there and I was still studying there, and I saw in the newspaper this story, how somewhere out in the hill country, in Nuera area, one python had swallowed one leg of a village boy. Obviously he was running around or something, and this python had swallowed one leg. And python takes time, They swallow bit by bit, gulp by gulp, and finish you off in the stomach. So just as he caught the leg of this boy, he gave cry, and people went and got the village doctor. And the village doctor came. What did the village doctor do? Took a bamboo and slowly put through the mouth and then removed the leg of this boy. But he had to cut. In so doing, he had to use a knife and cut a little bit near the mouth area to open up and then can take out. After doing that, you know what he did? He sew back and then apply some herbs then. Take out the bamboo, apply the herb, and then the boy is free. That snake is free to live. Now, that is, I think, a way of really living and live and not live like that. Real expression of metta like that. I was very touched by what they have done. If they had called a game warden, he would have taken his pistol and finished it off. All beings have right to live. All beings have the right to live in this world. And if we look, we observe clearly, we see all beings are afraid of their lives reduce your life. So, have you seen any creatures, any animals, including your chicken? Have you seen them coming before the kitchen and say, put out their neck and say, be food for you? No. Have you seen them? They run away. You try to catch them, they run away. And that's why, if we want to live peacefully, we should try to let others also live peacefully, like that. And that's why we should try to avoid killing. Have metta. Metta helps you to overcome anger. Metta, the practice of metta is the opposite of your first precept. The precept of avoiding killing. You avoid killing, what should you practice instead? One is the avoidance, the other one is the performance of it. You should practice metta, because when you practice metta, metta is the way by which you can cut anger, hatred. Without anger, without hatred, you cannot kill. You kill anything out of hatred, except under what you call defense, where you don't have intention to kill. You accidentally kill like that. It is not through intention. Right. So, again time. He asked this question about metta, and when we talk about radiation metta, he gets the idea, radiating. I think he's a school teacher teaching what he call physics, and he thinks in terms of radiating, like coming out and what he form a cylindrical, right, sphere, like that. But it's true, right? It is true. And he also asked this question: what is the fastest way? Instant. How can we develop instant metta? Venerable sir. Venerable, not so easy, instant metta. But if you want to develop effectively, very effectively, it will take some time. It will take some time. And if you watch the Buddha, how the Buddha, when the Buddha bless in the blessing posture, usually the Buddha carry his hand like that. No? For blessing purposes, the Buddha carries his hand and radiate like that. No? And we can learn how to develop your metta. You can give metta, you can radiate your energy. And if you study physics, electrostatic, you can, what you call the sharp points, the sharp points where you can send out metta. So you can, these sharp points, you can receive energy. So first you must know how to receive energy from nature. You can put your hands up like that and receive the energy and tap the energy until you feel the current. And if you go to the mountain, or the energy is different place have different kinds of energy. You can tap the energy. When you have tapped this energy and you have metta, you can, like, you radiate your loving kindness and you watch your breath, breathe in and breathe out. And you breathe, as you breathe in and out, you feel the energy come out through your hand like that. And you can give metta to your hand like that. So that's why sometimes you find the radiation just like that, and you can feel some like that. Or if you don't use this hand, and that's where when we do blessing, we give metta to you. If we don't carry our hand like that, we just concentrate and give you blessing. What do? You should put up your antenna to receive. How do you put out your antenna? This is how. This is a very practical method. You put up your hands like this, right? And then the vibration comes in here, and you receive the blessing. And you put close to your heart, so you receive energy and and you absorb it to your heart. When your heart is good, everything becomes good. No? When your mind is good, everything is good. So learn how. And in the beginning, your energy will be sort of somewhat diffuse. You can, but after you can concentrate, and if you can watch your breath and practice and focus your attention one point like that, and then you can do it very quickly. Or if you have a lot of confidence, like after you have studied the life of the Buddha, you have confidence in the Buddha, and your mind can think of the Buddha very quickly, and you take the Buddha as a source of inspiration. You just think of the Buddha, and immediately you can absorb the loving kindness and compassion, and you can give already. Oh, you see. Yes, vegetarianism, non-vegetarian, big issue now. No? And killing and direct killing. Well, if you ask me this question, I will tell you that vegetarianism, what you eat, serves as a prop to your religious life. Definitely, it serves as a prop. It supports your religious and spiritual life. Besides, it's good for your health. It also helps. And you will feel that, calmer, less aggressive, like that. But whether we should not go to the extreme, that some monks say that unless you are vegetarian, you are not holy person, like that. That the Buddha did not say that. The Buddha, when certain Brahmins approached the Buddha, when certain Brahmins saw some monks had eaten some flesh, Buddha said, yes, what is more important? What goes in your mouth or what comes out of your mouth? Okay. So sometimes you put in your mouth good things, but you come out very bad things. You lie, you cheat, you use all the harsh, filthy words, you slander, you gossip, but you eat pure food, like that. But if you can eat pure food, and if you can also have good words, purify your speech from your mouth, it's very good, like that. With regards to the killing, it really depends on your practice. Now, when you start practicing kindness, and if you practice more and more, and until you come to a time, sometime you become more aware of, what you are eating, like that. And you see, there are different degrees by which how we develop our mind. We become aware. When you now, for example, before you learn about the precepts, you you were not aware. Sometimes you kill some beings, you have no remorse like this. But now when you know about the precepts, even if you kill slight being also, you have some remorse. This is because of your awareness, It is good. Right? So similarly, when you start developing metta, you will tend to become more aware of life, the sacredness of life. And then, if at any time in your practice, if you feel remorseful eating the flesh, then you can live without it. You can live on fruits and nuts and vegetables and other things quite healthily. And it is a proven fact now. And but eventually, if you can come to the stage of eating food as food, just to maintain your body only, food as food, then you don't worry about anything that you can eat. If you come to that stage, that level of eating food as food, not for taste, not for like something that you are used to and you must have that. So, see, there is these different levels. When you get to a certain stage, like for example the Buddha, even Arantas, if they take that, they have no, their mind is not disturbed like that. But those that practice, those that have strong metta and make metta the strongest, like sometimes they can make a determination that they will not take it. Like that. Like some people make vows that they will not kill, they will not take meat, like that. And they can remain. And by that habit, even though when they purify their mind, when they attain arahanthood too, they still maintain their, diet like that. But they have no such view, no such strong view that we must be this, we must not be that, like that. They teach you in principle that it is good to avoid from killing, like that. Okay?
Right, any questions you want to ask? Yes, the last of the 10 precepts is Jata Rupa Rajata Patigahana. Jata Rupa Rajata, that is to abstain from the use of gold and silver. And that is why we have asked you to put all your valuables into a plastic bag and we keep for you, so that you don't use them, so that you don't possess them. Understand? And there is a very good reason for that. Remember that this way of life is a free life, so that you can travel from place to place without hindrance. Imagine if you are going to carry gold and silver with you and you have a lot of money with you, that will be very big hindrance. Right? When you travel from one country to another, and traveling was not like, of course now you travel, we carry bag with keys and all that. Those monks in the good old days, they don't carry suitcases and with what you call with all the dial numbers and all that. They go on naturally, and so when we carry all these things, gold, silver, then it becomes we invite trouble, outside. But like this, if once they know that you have no money, you have no gold, no silver, they don't bother. You just pass through. The only thing, you cannot go from one country to another country, because nowadays the country asks, in order to get to one country, they ask how much money you have. You must produce money. So we don't produce money, we produce some kind of guarantee. And now
now we have to change the precept slightly. Maybe we have to change to bank cards. Because now they don't use money. Some shops, you have money, you cannot buy things. So you see how we have to understand these steps, and with some wisdom. But when we want to follow these things, we have to, since you're observing the 10 precepts, we try, at least for this period of time. Hey, you don't keep money with. We keep it for you, never mind. We keep it somewhere. So when you don't have money, you got nothing to lose, isn't it? You have no headache, no problem. You can go upstairs and downstairs without any worry. But if you have a few, what you call 100,000 in your bag, you think you can sit down here without worries? That's right, because of the trouble there. And if you have gold bullion in your bag, you have problems also. You see? So that's why this life is to give up that kind of trouble, that kind of problem, the worldly kind of problem. That's why you go cutting off the worldly problem. So we try to simplify ourselves as much as possible. But the moment you get out here, we will give you back. You will need money. Isn't it? And then now you can understand how you can live. You can live without money too. Here, for this already how many days, you don't need to spend any money. You can live. So you can go back and say, who says you cannot live without money? I have lived. You can say, I lived 2 weeks without money. Because that's why, I told you last night, and our way of life is, people ask, who is it who support us? We say it's actually our actions. When you study well, you practice well, people come to know you, people will support you. And when they support you, you don't need to have money. Right? And if you have contentment, you no need to want to go here and there. If you want to go here and there, then you have to have your own money. But if your mind is already contented, right, and you can stay in one place, if people want to invite you, then they come and get you. Or they send a ticket to you and you go there. But if they don't send a ticket to you, you can stay here. You can stay in that one place, isn't it? So this is, if people need your service, they will give you only what you need, some food, shelter, and now the transport. If they cannot supply that, then you can stay in one place. And that kind of contentment, if you can have, then you can live a very simple and very happy life. But if you want this, you want that, you want radio, you want television, you want this, then you are multiplying. You are multiplying these things. And see how, you don't need to listen to radio, no need to see television. You can still live. Already how many hours already you live, How many days? And quite healthy, quite happy. You don't have to read all those junks. We read for you in case there's some good news we tell you. Actually, sometimes I stay in the forest dream for months and on ends, totally cut off from the world. We are living in the world, yet we are totally out of the world. Don't know anything about the world. Only when I come out, I try to catch up a little bit to know. Because if I want to talk to people, I must know what is happening, like that. So we just look in that. And after that, we just throw away again. It's only when we want to help people in this world, we must have some worldly knowledge, like that. Understand? And that's why sometimes, you study Dhamma, and not not only the pure Dhamma, you study a little bit more about history and study a bit more about the scientific aspect to support your argument, so that you can change the person from wrong view to right view, right? But even then, that is not enough. You must change from right view to no view. To give up all view, then only. Like now, I know many of you have right view, but still view. We all have right view. You know, last time when I was first ordained, I was very eager to convert people. No? I want to convert everybody to Buddhism. When I see people, not only to Buddhism, to Theravada Buddhism, my brain, no? And everybody calm, I talk to them, and then start arguing them, and then like they want to read the book, they want to read more, I become happy, happy. And later on I realized that what am I doing? What I'm doing is I'm just bringing him over to my view, that's all. The view that I think is right, that's all. And I think that is not enough. Still he has views. To be free from the view. Because if you have views are something that still it is your thoughts. Still your thoughts. When you know, when you see, when you realize, when you have real insight, that is no more view. You say, you know, it is like that. You see, the Buddha don't say, I think it is like that. Buddha don't say, in my opinion it is like that. Buddha don't have opinion anymore. Buddha says, oh monks, I see it is like this, like this, like that. Oh monks, I have experienced like this, like this. When the Buddha realized, if you read the first discourse, beautiful, and don't think that the Buddha spoke gave the first discourse, everybody listened to him like that. No, not so easy. The first 5 ascetics, they lost faith in the Buddha when the Buddha start to eat a little bit and then and start to practice, and gain his enlightenment. So when the Buddha saw them, they ran away from the Buddha. They don't want to see the Buddha. And then, but because the Buddha was so radiant, with full of metta, loving kindness, they just cannot resist the Buddha. So they put out clothes to let the Buddha sit. But they don't want to listen to the Buddha. Buddha told them, here, ascetics, listen to me. And I see these things. I have realized this. This is, there are these 2 extremes you should avoid. The extreme of sensuality on one hand, the extreme of self-mortification. And then those ascetics don't want to listen. No? Buddha says, listen to me. And still for the second time they don't want to listen, like they, ignore the Buddha like that. And then the Buddha told them, here, have I spoken to you in this manner before? Have I told you before? I see, I realize, I know this thing. And then they open their ears, they says, no. Then they listen to the Buddha. Then the Buddha start preaching to them. They open their ears. Also not fully open. That's why only one of them realized. The 4 of them don't realize. One, Kondanya, realized. Oh, Kondanya realized. Then the Buddha said, Anyang Kondanya, Anya Kondanya. Buddha saw. That is, Kondanya realized the truth. And then when the 4 see, the 4 get confidence, the 4 want to listen some more. Then the Buddha preached the Anatta Lakkana Sutta. Then all of them, realize. Very beautiful, this God.